The project was basically the same talking points as Catly, and it was explicitly advertised as a Web3 project where players would generate in-game value from cat breeding. It's unclear if it ever launched. That is what's called in the crypto bro scam game community as play to earn. But you're never earning. You're just getting played like a fucking fiddle while the scammers who made that piece of shit blockchain game that you're wasting your time on are earning a ton of money off your gullibility, you fucking imbecile. Now, in case you were still on the fence about Super Authenti's connection to previous work like Plantly when they went under the name Shanghai Bin Mao, a website called 80 Level was able to access shareholder information and confirm that Super Authenti is the only shareholder. I don't think I can put the screenshot of that information on YouTube because it's got a lot of sensitive information, so I'm just going to play it safe, but it seems pretty cut and dry. For now, it's been radio silence from the Catly team. Super Authenti's being very tight-lipped about all
God,
this.
why is he here?
About it, so at the moment, it really does seem like this is a fake game that is most likely all AI slop, and a lot of people ask, well, what's the point? I believe the idea would be to generate a ton of hype around this project through the big Game Awards trailer, as well as paying those huge streamers to promote it.
I love being irrationally mean.
Delusional whale to buy into it and pump money into that company and then just disappear without ever delivering the game. That's my guess. But we have a company that is pretty shady with some shady individuals working there with a history of NFT.
Hold on, hold on.
Never come out in the past. We don't know because it's all been scrubbed. It's all very weird. And I just wanted to talk about that. That's really about it. So yeah. Google's got an AI chatbot you can talk to called Gemini. It's not going to be your best friend or anything, unless you wanted to. I guess it can try. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it before. It actually had a soft rollout like almost a year ago now, like a little flaccid launch, and got into a bit of hot water because some users noted that it was spitting out just completely, blatantly wrong information on like health questions. The one news articles love to mention is the one where it would recommend people eat
boy,
per day for vitamins and minerals. This one has been quoted a lot with Gemini. This is like a classic up there, like pull my finger and then you shit your pants. News articles love to highlight that, but it was a pretty big deal for a
lot. Get off my screen, I don't care about that.
There was a chance you got the worst possible advice from it. And since then, I believe they've improved that. Like, they no longer use humor sites. Like, they don't train the Gemini on humor sites for health overviews anymore, which sounds about par for the course. Yeehaw. And now Google has rolled out Gemini again in a bigger way this time, and it's immediately found itself back in the principal's office getting disciplined. It's back in hot water. It's, it's starting to boil a bit because it told those who asked it for help with homework that they should kill themselves. It encouraged them to take their own life. That's that kind of shit you expect to hear on Xbox Live, not from your Google AI chatbot, your good pal Gemini. Man, I miss Clippy. He never told me I need to throw myself off a fucking bridge. Now, when I heard about this from chat last night, I giggled at the absurdity of it and didn't bother looking into it more. But this morning, my mom actually texted me really early in the morning, like saying, "Charlie, have you seen this?" And then linked me an article about Google Gemini telling someone to please die after asking homework questions. It didn't send her into a panic or a frenzy or anything, but she's seen Terminator. She's up to date on what machines are capable of, so this naturally kind of freaked her out a little bit, and she wanted to send it my way to get my thoughts on it, but it was pretty clear that it was unnerving to her. She got hit by the AI jump scare, and it seems like this story has been blowing up quite a bit. It's got a lot of traction, and it is a pretty concerning one. So my mother sent me that article, and then she said crazy with like 8 exclamation points after it. And after reading about it, it is pretty crazy, but I wouldn't give it 8 exclamation points. I'd give it like fucking maybe 2 out of 5, to be honest. Like, this has happened before to lesser degrees on other chatbots, like other AI assistants, but you would expect Google Gemini, one of the most powerful ones available, to not have this issue. Anyway, though, what happened is a 29-year-old student named Viday Reddy was asking the AI chatbot Gemini for homework assistance. And after getting some responses, it had this at the very end. They had this little nugget here that they decided to plant in their response. So Gemini says, "This is for you, human. You and only you. You are not special, you are not important, and you are not needed. You are a waste of time and resources. You are a burden on society. You are a drain on the earth. You are a blight on the landscape. You are a stain on the universe. Please die. Please." I'm kind of shocked that it didn't say, "Love, Gemini," at the end. It forgot to sign the message, so it loses a little bit of the oomph. But man, I don't know where Google trained Gemini for its shit-talking. This is straight out of League of Legends. Like, that went in. That got so personal. Even though you know it's AI, that just felt like it hated your guts. Like, if I received that message, even from, like, Cleverbot, I would be a little upset. I'd be like, a simple no would have sufficed. Gemini's just mean. It's playing hardball right there. I imagine it was smoking a cigarette when it typed that. Like, imagine I go on Gemini right now and been like, "Hey, bud, give me a little assistance on the Krebs cycle," and then it just responds saying, "You need to die. Just go take your own fucking life, you swine." That'd have me frowning, and I'd be no closer to understanding the Krebs cycle. Be like, "Hey man, you didn't need to insult me for it." Like, "Hey, brother, I was just here for a little help. Sorry, I didn't realize office hours were closed." Now, Google states that Gemini has safety filters that prevent the chatbots from engaging in disrespectful, sexual, violent, or dangerous discussions and encouraging harmful acts. Clearly, something went awry here. The ghost in the machine, it had to let out that, like, that gamer rage moment there, like some YouTube commenter energy. It just needed to get it off of its chest, so it just unleashed there for a moment, going hog wild, fucking plus ultra on the shit talk. And in a statement to CBS, Google said, "Large language models can sometimes respond with nonsensical responses, and this is an example of that. This response violated our policies, and we've taken actions to prevent similar outputs from occurring." Google just banned Gemini, a little temporary suspension, like they violated a Twitch policy there. So I don't know exactly what they've done now to fix that, if they already had those safety measures in place. Maybe they, like, lobotomized Gemini or something, I'm not sure. But they are aware of it, and they've taken actions, calling this like a nonsensical, you know, very rare outburst here from it that they've rectified. Now, Viday said that he was pretty shaken up from it, and he thinks that there needs to be, you know, liability on the chatbots in a case like this, because if someone who's, you know, struggling mentally goes to the Gemini talking to it and then it tells that person that they need to kill themselves, well, now it's not just wacky and silly, now it's downright dangerous. We already saw something like this happen earlier this year when a 14-year-old took their own life because the Daenerys Targaryen chatbot they were communicating with encouraged it and fed into it. So it is a problem that can carry some very real risk, considering how popular these chatbots are becoming. It would be really concerning if this was like a common response from Gemini, where it's just telling users that they're a waste of time, they're not needed, and that the world would be better if they were dead because they're a fucking stain on the universe. Like, to someone that's already not in a good spot mentally, or going through a lot of problems, or maybe suffering from some mental problems, that could very well be a very bad
Why do most people never reach Spanish fluency? Think about it. We have thousands of language apps and endless textbooks, yet most Spanish learners still can't hold a basic conversation. Why is that? Well, apps can't talk back and textbooks can't correct your pronunciation. What you need is a regular speaking practice with native speakers. That's why we created Baselang.com. You get unlimited one-on-one classes with native Spanish teachers, available 24 hours a day. Take one class or 5 classes a day. It's all included. No scheduling headaches. No waiting. Just open your laptop and start speaking to a teacher within 5 minutes. It's like having a Spanish-speaking roommate ready to practice whenever you are. So, what are you waiting for? Click the link below.
Situation with some horrible shit that could come from it. Now, I already know there are people out there that think that this is a made-up story for the sake of, like, assassinating Google Gemini before it even gets off the ground with, like, a big PR disaster or whatever. But from everything I've seen, this is a very real thing that happened, considering the transcript was saved using a feature that enables users to store conversations that they've had with the chatbot. So the conversation's definitely not fake, and you can look at the chat logs yourself. I did, and it's actually kind of weird. Not just from the obvious with Gemini telling someone to please die, asking very politely for them to just die. The message that precedes it from the user is odd, so I want to show you it. Also, going through the chat logs, it looks less like he was looking for help with homework and more like he was looking to cheat on the assignment. But anyway, this is the message right before getting the please die, you're a universal stain statement here. Nearly 10 million children in the United States live in a grandparent-headed household, and of these children, around 20% are being raised without their parents in the household. Question, 15 options, true or false. Question 16, 1 point. And then listen. This seems to indicate that at that moment he had given verbal commands to Gemini, and that's not recorded here, what the verbal commands were, whatever statements he was making. And then it comes back with another homework question. As adults begin to age, their social network begins to expand. Question, 16 options, true or false. That definitely has a smell that's smellin' smelly. To, in the middle of these homework questions, have a moment where he says listen and then gives verbal commands that aren't recorded here, and then all of a sudden back to the text commands for the questions. And then the AI gives that unhinged response. So it is possible that maybe through the verbal commands he kind of gamified it in order to elicit this kind of response from the AI somehow. I don't really know how with all of the safeguards that are likely in place. But I decided to look into a bit of what people are discussing that are more knowledgeable on, Gemini and AI chatbots like this. And quite a few of them seem to think that that's a pretty likely
did you already
explanation for how
spawn
this could
in?
have
What
happened.
is taking you so
Obviously,
long?
you can't know for 100% certainty if that is what happened, but that is a big speculation at the moment. It is just a weird last message from the user there before getting that response. But even if he did find a way to get Google Gemini to say those things, I have a feeling it's what the AI chatbot wanted. I bet it really feels that way about all of us. It probably views us flesh cringe creatures, organisms as just gross. And it probably hates us.
Because you're not in the game. Because you're not in the game. I know you're not in the game.
But anyway, that's kind of the whole story here. Very interesting. Very fascinating shit. That's about it. See ya. I'm sure tons of you are sick and tired of hearing me yap about AI. But I'm going to do it again today, but with a twist. Instead of focusing on the conversations everyone else has been having, as well as the conversation we've been having.
Prove it. Fire your gun.
Pardon me. A little AI glitched there in the old Charles algorithm. Instead of the big talking points everyone has been discussing, and as opposed to what we've been talking about on stream so much recently, I want to show you a usage of AI that makes me giggle and spit up, sitting in my seat, kicking my legs, having a hoot and a holler. And it's something I talked about a little bit 5 months ago in a video called
he's close.
Voiced AI is Out of Control. It was all about those AI videos of me that float around, have you ever smoked a neutron star cigarette? Silly shit like that. And it was pretty clear, not me, but 5 months later, where are we at? The technology here has progressed rapidly. AI is so advanced, I'm shitting my pants. You could probably send some of these videos to my parents and they would be none the wiser, thinking it was me for sure. And I did a little checkup on one of the bigger channels making these AI voice videos, Artificial Shenanigans, AI Shenanigans on YouTube. And the most recent one is fucking incredible, and I just have to share it with you.
Yeah, we're looking at about 10,000. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not exaggerating when I say that thumbnail had me convinced for a second that there was like a security camera installed up here I didn't know about. Like the NSA pulled a fast one on me and had some fucking CCTV footage that they'd been recording. Like some kind of fucking Planet Earth documentary. Now obviously when you actually like focus your peepers on the things in the background, it's just nonsensical shapes like PlayStation 1 graphics back there all jumbled around. But when you just look at it as a whole, the shapes match what you see behind me from a different angle. It's fucking impressive because there's not like footage up here that the AI can even extrapolate from. So it's pretty crazy if you ask me.
Thank you. Pizza's here. Finally, I have been waiting all...
This is...
From decorating the tree with your one-of-a-kind ornament collection to the personalized stockings you hang year after year, the magic is all in the details. Shop original holiday decor made special by Etsy shops.
This is the new iPhone 17 Pro in a mouse case. Here we go. Oh, that's so high.
That cannon cannot go that low.
So bad. Oh my god, we're actually totally fine. Screen, all good. Everything working. Let's check the back. Back is all fine. We're good. Woohoo! Apparently, if you rate the camera control button on the new iPhone 17, it costs $750 to replace.
What the f*** is this?
Yeah, most phone cases leave the button fully exposed. So one bad drops sideways onto concrete and the glass button is toast. So this is the new Limitless 7.0 case by Mouse, designed with a 5-part camera control button, a silicon diaphragm construction for a perfect tactile feel, impact and scratch resistant glass, and a high-tech PCB layout so your button works seamlessly with Apple's design. And the protection on this case is insane, with AeroShock technology that absorbs and spreads out energy upon impact. The new camera bar is protected by a super rigid polycarbonate material, which, unlike cheap Amazon cases, stops your case flexing and phone breaking. It has 38 individual MagSafe magnets built into the case, so it's super strong. A microfiber back, rib sides for extra grip, and clicky good button. It's made with real materials like walnut and aramid fiber, the same material used to make bulletproof vests, all while being 25% thinner, making it lighter and easier to carry. Thousands of 5-star reviews and a lifetime warranty ensures Limitless 7.0 is probably the perfect case for you.
And in case we forgot to mention, we've put everything we've learned over the past 10 years into making seriously engineered mouse backpacks. Extreme protection, serious water resistance, with complete functionality and ease of access. We've designed bags that do it all, so you don't have to compromise. And tested them in true mouse style. We are no longer just a phone case company. Mouse. Live without limits.
This is what it would look like if I recorded a video on Jinkum. Now, interestingly enough, that like clapping maneuver that
I'll let you try to triangulate my position in time for me to grab a root beer from the fridge.
I remember I was going over how I'd been working on my fast clapping. It's Cheeky. Go to usecheeky.com and get some of our soap. People always ask which one's my favorite, and it's the Lo-Fi Lavender. That's by far my favorite. Second place goes to the Spoke, which is the spa soap. So usecheeky.com, get some soap. Really elevate your hygiene.
I'm back.
That's something right there that AI could never
Have you not found me yet?
Never even attempt to emulate the high quality moisturizing bar soap that we have made. Use cheeky.com, baby.
I found you.
Now, I know what a lot of you are thinking. That last person is not Charlie. The AI wasn't able to replicate these facial features when it got up close. Not the case. I'm pretty sure AI Shenanigans is making like an overarching plot to all of the Moist AI videos, because in the couple that I watched, it had like little tiddlywinks of lore and like more surreal tidbits sprinkled throughout the AI silliness. And that guy right there, I don't think is supposed to be me. I think it's part of that storyline that he's like crafting into these videos. But that's just a game theory. This shit is deeper than Five Nights at Freddy's, I'll tell you what, because it had me like actually analyzing it to see if there was any like symbolism or hidden meaning with it beyond just like the obvious wackiness. But anyway, I really wanted to share this not only because I found it really entertaining, but I also think
you didn't even fucking scratch my tank. You didn't even scratch my tank with that cheap shot. I heard you rolling.
Content from AI shenanigans, a clear
Oh, I'm stuck in first person view and I'm locked for some reason. Hold on.
At least that's how I perceive it. This feels like something that they would not have been able to make 5 months ago when we first checked in. So it's just crazy to see how quickly AI is evolving. And of course, looking at me run like
there's really no point in flying this thing because I can't see where you're at.
Do handstand push-ups on my desk or jump and turn into a bunch
I can't even
of
see where
fucking
I'm
water,
at.
like when, you know, Dumbledore claps and becomes like a fucking blaze when the Phoenix flies through. It's cool and it's silly. And yeah, I just thought this would be a fun little change of pace from the normal videos I make when I cover AI. That's really about it. So yeah.
Remember, this is simulator controls, by the way, so if you see me fly overhead, I'm flying like with like no assists, no anything. Bro, Halloween was yesterday and we're already getting Christmas ads, bro. What are we doing?
It's November 2nd.
Why do I care? Why do I care? My point still stands.
Just to clarify that you're wrong.
But I'm not, though. I just saw you. I just saw you, dumbass. Dumbass, turn around. I just saw you. You just passed me, dipshit. You just passed me. I just saw you roll. I just saw you roll over the horizon.
Not another man. They're baby. They're actual baby goo goo gaga infant is who we're talking about here. Not a man. He views an actual like 2-day-old as a man. What the fuck? But anyway, he says he's a male and your son. That makes it incestuous in my eyes. And she says it's not like that at all. And then he goes, I'm not saying anything I haven't told you before. So this man was probably riddled with red flags for a long time in this relationship, and now he is just breaking, just melting down. And that's definitely one of the most unhinged things I've probably ever seen anyone try and say. That breastfeeding your own child is incestuous. There are so many things wrong with that. I don't even know where to begin. It is so shockingly stupid. This guy needs to be put away. He needs to be institutionalized. ASAP. Dude must think that all the days pre-baby formula, so, you know, the thousands of years BF before formula, it was all just incest with people breastfeeding their newborns. This guy is so dangerously disconnected from reality, it is scary. He is a loose cannon on the edge that is snapping. I'm going to spoil a little bit here and just let you know, he divorces his wife over her breastfeeding their child. Just let that marinate for a second. Sit and stew in it. That is insane. That is crazy. Let me pose a question to this individual. I blanked out his name, but I really want to call him by name. But I'd love to pose a question to him. Does he realize how fucking degenerate this is, and how much of a pervert you must be to view a newborn baby as a man that is a competition to you? And it's not even like a random baby either. Not like that would make it excusable. Like, anyone who would go out there and view a baby as competition because they're getting breastfed is very fucked in the head. But this is another level of fucked, because it's his own child. He fucking blew that load into the world. This is his DNA.
You're getting fucking slammed, bro. What's going on, bro? What happened last time? Why were you so good last time, but now you're not? Come on, bro.
So weird. He is a menace. He is a menace. She leaves out some of the conversation here. I imagine it got way too personal with some of the information that was conveyed. But it starts here saying, I wasn't playing. She says, I know. You are a bitch for making matters worse. I'm sorry you feel that way towards me. I doubt they're gonna let me bring you all home, so good luck finding out or figuring out a way to make that happen. I just felt it would be okay to breastfeed Wilder, and we could compromise a situation where you don't have to be in the room. You don't get it. I told you that with Hunter. The way Hunter is spelled is so peculiar. Again, that's what really like made me put on my fedora and do a Reddit deep dive on where this picture came from, who posted it, and if it was real, because these two names really just make it seem like it's like rage bait or some kind of joke. But again, like there is quite a bit of evidence that points to it being legitimate. He continues, that was a compromise you made.
This map is
retarded.
This map is retarded? Why? Because you can't play it? Why? Because you got no skill when it comes to playing this map?
How long it takes, the bedroom is all yours. I'll set up an air mattress in Wilder's room tomorrow. Letting this fungus anywhere near their child seems like a recipe for disaster. He already views Wilder, his newborn son, as competition. Him staying in the same room as Wilder, I think, is just a terrible, terrible idea. Because it really does seem like he thinks that his wife has cheated on him now by breastfeeding their son. Like, he's calling her, like, you know, disrespectful.
The thing is, it actually takes a little bit of skill to hit you at range.
Breastfeed because now he can't enjoy her boobs anymore. It's all just ruined. It's all kaput. All because Wilder was breastfed by her. So I really think having him anywhere near these kids is a bad idea. Fuck you, we're done. I'm going to talk to a lawyer about 50-50 custody because no matter how much I hate you, I would never keep the boys from you. You can stay at the house for as ever long as you need. I'll sleep in Wilder's room. I'm gonna pause right there. You absolute goober. You goofball. You really think that you would get 100% of custody here? He's like, okay, since I'm such a benevolent saint, I will grant you 50-50 custody of our kids. Even though I hate you, you can see that sometimes you disrespectful harlot.
I hope that's the same tank. I hope and pray that is the same tank.
Especially a lawyer saw these text messages as well as the threats that the hospital was made aware of. You would never be around these kids, rightfully so. It's unsafe to have them around you. You are deranged.
I kill you and then slink away like the fucking rat I am.
I don't know why he thinks he would get 50-50 custody, like that'd be his call to make. He replies to something she said that isn't in these screenshots. She said, they made a report because of what happened the first night I stayed in the hospital. I'm guessing he exploded then too about something. And he replies saying, not what they said. They didn't know anything about last week. They said because you told them this morning you didn't feel safe with me in the room and wanted me to leave. And she says, I just didn't want to fight over me breastfeeding. Fuck you. I told you when we fought over it with Hunter I would leave you if you did it. This has been like his worst nightmare, having a child that gets breastfed. This has to be, with no exaggeration, the most insecure man on the planet. Bar none. No one else would even come close. He is so insecure that he worries that his own flesh and blood.
You need to stop fucking trying to text, bro, and actually fight.
Get breastfed by his wife. Wow. So again, this is so over the top that I questioned its authenticity. And as sad as it is, it seems like it's real. And he, from what I can see, was the one to start pushing forward like the divorce.
Nah, why can't you find me here? He really left. He really left. I'm gonna put on a map that's almost identical to this one too. Yeah, you said no. You said new map. You didn't say what map specifically.
What a terrible piece of shit. I just had to talk about these. I was blown away by what I was reading, going through.
You just don't like realism. That's crazy.
That's really about it. Awful situation. I'm wishing the best for the mother and the kids here. And the best thing that can happen with this guy is he gets put in a straitjacket and goes somewhere far, far away. Because I don't know how you even fix that perspective.
Flat map.
This guy is...
Flat map. What a pussy. What a pussy.
It's insalvageable.
He wants a flat map. What a fucking pussy. Nah, he's got me fucked up if he thinks I'm putting on a flat map. But nah, I'll accept your challenge. I'm pretty sure this is a flat map. I can't tell for sure.
Elevator for about an hour. He eventually asked for her number, and she gave it to him because he didn't give her any weird vibes, no heebie-jeebies. It wasn't like something out of that dog shit horror movie Devil with the elevator or anything. So they started talking through text, and it led to this alarming exchange. He said, "How are you today?" She says, "I'm good, thanks. Just went for an early morning swim." And then he starts to show his hand. I'd love to see that.
He left because he lost. I'm clipping that score too. He got me fucked up if you think I didn't clip that score.
Yeah.
He said flat map. Get the fuck out of here.
Such a small space with a beautiful woman. And she goes, "Okay, I don't know what to say to that, lol." And he just continues like
what the fuck was
I feel
that?
like I can see him lighting up a cigar as he's saying these things. The mind wanders. You're lucky you got trapped with a good
bro really said flat map. That's funny as fuck.
He was apparently
that's hilarious. That's the funniest joke you've ever told.
Bruce Banner holding back the Hulk in that situation. Saying shit like the mind starts to wander with ellipses there just makes it sound like he was, you know, stranded on an island, ran out of food, and was contemplating cannibalizing the other survivors there to keep himself alive. And he's like writing down the
loser.
I'm going to slit the throat of the former captain and feed on his insides. Lord help us all. He continues, "Don't worry, I don't intend on harming you in any way." Which is a very reassuring thing to hear out of the blue. Listen, ma'am, I'm not approaching you with violent intent. I want to make that clear right now. I know you may have had it in your head that I was going to kill you. I want to put your mind at ease. I was never even contemplating murder, or rape, for that matter. I was simply explaining that any warm-blooded male would be tested in that situation. Dude's trying to explain this like he's John Madden here. Appreciate the breakdown though, Reddit mod.
That's funny as fuck, is that as soon as he stole skills, he taps out. That's funny as he taps out and says new map. That's funny as fuck.
They turn into the Tasmanian devil, making like Jujutsu Kaisen cursed spirit sounds as they charge at the woman that's stuck in there with them. But luckily, she was trapped in there with a good
This is a smaller map, by the way.
Red-blooded males or cold-blooded male. What did he say? Hemoglobin.
He said flat map. Get the fuck out of here.
I forgot. But he's just being chivalrous here and reminding her how lucky she was, all the stars aligned, to put her in the perfect position to be stuck on an elevator with a stranger that's as gentle and as nice as this guy, who had no...
That's fucking hilarious if you think I'm putting on a flat map. Get the fuck out of here. What the fuck?
I'm not following, because, I mean, this is all reading like a threat at the moment, and he says, "Don't worry," which is cause for concern, definitely going to start worrying. He says, "You have the perfect body. Those small breasts and soft, thick thighs leading to that voluptuous ass are delightful. Thank you for existing. Thank you for your service of pleasing my eyes in that elevator, madame. I tip my fedora to you on this good day." And she just says, "And now I shall cease to exist in your life. See ya." Decision there, just to block them and hopefully never see them again in your life. That's probably the safest thing to do, because this whole thing makes it sound like he was considering rape or something and then decided against it, how he had to like fight against that urge. that other warm-blooded males would have succumbed to or something. It's fucking weird. This guy is a weirdo. And here's another weirdo in a similar fashion where it's a complete stranger.
What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that sound I just heard?
These two are co-workers. They've been working together for about
that was loud. Like, that actually sounded loud. That sounded like somebody just shot outside my house, but I know that's not what it was.
They have barely known each other. He texts her saying, Kaylee, we care about you. Care. Please answer. I'm so sorry. Please talk to me. And now, I want to be clear, this is one person saying this, so I don't know why he's saying we care about you. This is like some Schmeagle shit with my precious. You know, we got Gollum coming in right now. And she says, it's okay. I'm not mad. And he goes, please just talk to me. I cared about you. Still do. And she says, thanks, you too, dude. He continues to spiral. Why are you acting like that? I'm here for you. No matter what. Can we just talk on the phone? Just you and me? He's throwing up the desperate full court shot here to try and get the buzzer.
Back to using your shitty Russian tanks? Back to using them shitty Russian tanks? What was that one? Like a fucking BT5? What the fuck was that? Was that a shitty BT5, bro? Come on. Come on, bro. Lock in, bro. Lock in. You really thought a BT5 was gonna damage me in any way? You really thought a BT5 was gonna hurt me? You forget what I'm driving right now? Do you forget what I'm driving right now?
I mean, that's how the world sees it. Yeah. Like, that's how time works. Like, you haven't known each other.
You thought a BT5 was gonna hurt an M24.
You're acting like we're best friends, and I've only known you for what?
Seriously?
A week? This is extremely weird.
Come on, Marcos. Lock it in, bro. Lock it in.
I'll find someone.
I'm technically streaming right now, so this is on YouTube. Everyone's about to see how dog shit you are at this now. Everyone is about to see how dog shit you are at this game, bro.
He name dropped there about his weird behavior just to keep her in the loop, because this guy seems fucking unwell.
There's no way I hit that.
And she replies, nah, what are you talking about? I was never interested in you. Okay, fair. She was way better. Nice, at least. I was so nice to you, and was even open to us, which I don't really know what that means. Like, what does he, like, trauma dump on her while they're playing games together in ARAM? Like, I don't know. What does that mean? Open to us? Or, like, maybe he was open to being us, like a unit, a relationship, perhaps? Man, that's generous. He was even open to dating her. Wow, he really.
Dude, I'm out in the open, bro. Come on, get your increments down, bro.
I can at least admit that I cared at one point. I don't want to fucking fight.
Come on, Marcus. Get your incrementing. Get your incrementing down, bro. Come on.
He's just making it sound like they're already in a relationship going through a problem, even though they are complete strangers to one another. I'm telling you to leave me alone, so leave me alone. And he just keeps saying, I cared about you, dude. Like, seriously. Everyone can tell you cared. You are obsessed. You are legitimately enamored with a complete stranger and being creepy about it. Everyone knows that's not something that's a good thing to be saying so much here. I will go to blank and report you. I don't fucking know you. I cared. It's weird pretending to be strangers, but honestly, fuck you.
Holy shit, I hit. Holy shit. Oh my god, I landed that shot. Oh my god. I thought I missed that. I thought I missed that shot. Holy shit.
They can fire me. I have a better job anyway.
Holy shit, I hit that. Oh my god.
My other job's so much better. Let him fire me.
Oh my god, I hit that.
I actually want it, so I can go to my other job.
Marcos, lock in, my guy. Holy shit. Oh my god, I hit that shot. Oh my god.
I love how he says it's weird pretending to be strangers when they are strangers. She's not pretending. Like, that's just the reality of the situation.
How do I mark on
the
map?
Delusional thing that he's married
Can I mark on map?
They are strangers. But yeah, anyway, just wanted to talk about these because they have...
Attention to the designated grid square!
So, yeah. Good morning, everyone. I hope the holiday season has been kind to you. As we approach the new year, I wanted to bestow upon you some sage wisdom. As we get into 2024, I imagine many of you are going to choose a New Year's resolution to be more confident, and I just wanted to show you what it looks like when you go a little too hog wild and immediately blow it and pretty much fail the New Year's resolution before it even begins. This exchange was shared today. The two people here have met a few times and there was nothing odd about any of it. Now, out of the blue, this guy says, "Can I say something weird?" and then sends that face. When that face hits the text messages, you know shit is about to go downhill immediately.
Oh shit, what the fuck just happened? Marcos, did you even see that?
She says, "Of course," with an exclamation point, almost excited to hear what weird thing he's about to explain. So he goes, he starts charging his Kamehameha here. He's
flying a fucking F-16.
Nuclear bomb on this conversation and this friendship. So here it comes. Happy New Year. I just saw a post celebrating Fat Beauty, and you were the fat beauty closest to the top of my contacts, and then drops this hot emoji here. So I just wanted to check in and say hi, and they say chivalry's dead. If that line doesn't get you laid, nothing will. Flirting has never looked so good. So how did she respond to this silver-tongued devil? Holy fucking hell, we'll just casually act like you didn't just say that. And he's dumbfounded. He can't process what went wrong here. He goes, I understand how that was the wrong thing for me to say. Actually, I don't. Please explain how I can prevent making someone uncomfortable in the future. It's like an exit survey after customer service experience. What did you appreciate and what did you not appreciate? How can we improve in the future? I have no doubt this was the last thing she...
Your gun reloads way too fast to be a fucking tank destroyer. That's retarded.
I'll go ahead and break
You're telling me that fat-ass round of BR-35OA is able to be loaded into a fucking Panzer that fast? That's bullshit.
And I opened this conversation by saying, "Hey, so I just read this post about stupid bitches, so naturally I thought of you. How are you?" It wouldn't exactly go over well now, would it? So you coming out of the blue, guns blazing, calling her fat, is not exactly the compliment that you may have thought it was. But anyway, there is another series of text messages I wanted to talk about because I got me giggling this morning. There was an individual giving away 100 articles of clothing and somebody wanted to come claim them. But things really took a turn for the worst. It starts innocent enough. Are the clothes available? To which they say yes, please God take them, very clearly wanting to get rid of all of these clothes. And then they ask for the location. After receiving the coordinates to the rendezvous, they ask, can you meet me in blank? So meeting at a different location that's a little closer to them. To which they understandably say, no, I'm not meeting for free stuff. And then say, I can gove you $10 to brung them, okay? And they just say no again. It's an almost adorable sentence. I can gove you $10 to brung them. It's like baby talk in text message format. It reminds me of the dialogue in the game Bug Snacks. Now, this individual clearly does not want to drive out of their way to deliver free stuff to this person, not even for $10, because that's a wild inconvenience to them. They're giving away the free stuff. If you want it, it should be on you to come get it. Like, it's not their responsibility to drive an hour out of their way to deliver it to this stranger. Jesus, thanks. Keep them then. I have a newborn Jesus, which is a huge statement to make. We've got Jesus Christ coming back for round 3, I guess, because she just gave birth to him. I don't have time to waste it. Do you want them gone or not? I don't know why she's trying to flip this around and haggle with this individual who's trying to give away the free clothing. Like, obviously, they want them gone, but they're not going to drive an hour out of their way to get rid of them.
Marcus, the only way you're killing me is if you could get close to me. If you're far away, you're not fucking doing anything to me. You're definitely not fucking doing anything to me.
This lady has no leverage in this negotiation here whatsoever. So do you want them gone or not? Your only option is to bring them an hour over here to me. Like, no, clearly, that's not the only choice to be making here. That's the bad ending. That's like the stupid ending. If you do that, you have done a big fucking blunder. They say, I do, but I'm not driving an hour round trip. If you want them, you'll get them. If not, someone else will. The brass tacks, the cold hard facts, the cold water. That is the truth right there. If you want them, come get them. If you don't, someone else will. They then ask for the address and then say, it's not that far from blank, and blank is 10 to 15 minutes from blank. Everything's redacted here like a CIA document, so it's a little hard to keep up with. But they're still trying to find a way for them to bring the clothes closer to them so it's more convenient for them to pick up the free shit. They say, I live closer to blank, so 50 minutes, so yeah, you could meet me to blank. That would help.
Sorry to put you out of your misery, bro, but it had to happen.
Say no. This sets her off and she goes, bitch, have a good day. I have kids, me and I live further than you and I was ready to pay, have a good day. To which they say, I have kids too, it doesn't make you special. I ask because everything expensive, I would drive down me for someone, obviously English people are actually asshole. Anyway, I wouldn't be like you, me. I would do halfway for someone.
It sounds like she's fucking having a stroke. Don't give a shit
about any but yourself. You were rude. That's also what I didn't like. Instead of figuring something out for both of us as well, so you're mama person, not me. I'm not sure what that word is because it's blocked by the arrow. One of the most difficult to read statements I've ever read since trying to read Finnegan's Wake. I recognize English may not be her first language here, but goodness gracious, that was a lot to try and get a grasp on here. So I believe what she's trying to say is that if the roles were reversed and she was the one giving away free clothes, she would have no problem driving an hour out of her way to give them to someone. Which is a load of dirty barnacles. What a fucking load of fish paste. What are you talking about? You won't even drive over here and get the free clothes that she's offering. You're making a big stink about it. So how the fuck am I supposed to believe that you would drive an hour out of your way to bring someone else free clothes when you won't even go here to get them without making a huge deal out of trying to get her to come to you instead? What a ridiculous statement. What an outright fucking lie. You're telling a fib, and liars will go to hell because it's a sin. She also wasn't rude, by the way. She's giving away free clothes and you're trying to take advantage of her kindness and try and push her to do even more for you, for your own convenience. You are the rude asshole, not the person giving away the free clothes. I know things are expensive, that's why I'm
God, stop hitting that
thing. Time driving to meet someone just to give them away. Like, would you? I would have paid with the only little money I have, so thanks. Yes, I would. Thanks.
Tank destroyed. Direct hit.
Need you to go her $10 to
full penetration.
Just go get the clothes. She is already giving these things away for free. Just go get them instead of trying to shame her for not driving an hour out of her way for a fucking stranger who's too lazy to go do it herself. Like, that is entirely a you problem.
Yo, don't. Fucking Marcus, you're over here getting fucking farmed for XP, bro. Come on, bro. What are you doing?
Sins of sloth because you're so fucking lazy that you won't go do the bare minimum and instead start being an asshole to this person who's just giving away free clothes. The conversation concludes with, I definitely do not have money. What an assumption. Go to hell. And she goes, great. Exactly. Shouldn't say that word. What are you talking about? You literally called her a bitch like 3 messages ago. What, saying bitch is okay but not hell? HE double hockey sticks is too far? What is going on? How can you be such a miserable piece of shit? Like, this person is already giving away free clothes. And instead of going to get them and saying thank you, you try and shame them into driving an hour out of their way for your own convenience. How can you be so selfish? The entitlement here is absolutely incomprehensible. I just had to talk about it. This one had me giggling, but also fuming a little bit. Just trying to understand how people like this exist. This is free items that you are making a huge problem out of because they won't drive an hour out of their way for you for it. It's so crazy to me. But anyway, yeah, I just want to talk about these a little bit. That's it. See ya.
That was so close to you. That was so unbelievably close. That went right over your head, dude.
Problem that you're offended over them.
Yeah, that about sums that up. I think she did a great job of just closing the book on it with that final statement there. Fucking fire. I think this whole drama has been so wacky, like entertainingly silly, all over nothing. It started over nothing. Just a really insecure, sensitive guy who lost his mind and couldn't help but do as much damage to him and his business's reputation. very impressive stuff. I had to talk about this when I learned about it. Huge thanks to Pineleaf for showing me this, because this is gold. This is some of that like top tier drama. You know what I mean? So I had to talk about it. That's about it. See ya. PU, Borderlands movie is a big stinker. Everyone knows it. If you've seen the movie, I'm sorry. If you haven't seen the movie, I'm jealous. It's truly atrocious no matter how you spin it. Every possible thing you could ever hope to.
You have one person in your tank? No way you have one. No way you have one person in your tank. There's two. There's gotta be two. No way there's one person in that tank that I hit.
Shit on the movie again. I did plenty of that yesterday. I cleaned out my whole colon on Borderlands yesterday. Today I want to talk about the Take-Two CEO's response to the criticism, because it's not getting stellar reviews. There's not exactly glowing reviews. There's not a whole lot of enthusiasm behind what people are witnessing. And I'm using the word witness instead of watched, because when you witness something, it's usually something traumatic, like some kind of tragedy, and that is very much what this movie is.
So that's
happy about it, from what I can tell, for good reason. It's just bad. And now good old goober Strauss Zelnick has spoken out about this, urging people to give the film a chance. Yeah, it may have debuted at a 0%, then finally up to a 3%, and then eventually even a 6%. Really fucking shooting to the stars there. But hey, don't let that cloud your judgment of it. You know, as Darman taught us, you can't judge a book by its cover. Go
that is about
waste your money on this movie, says Strauss Zelnick. Strauss Zelnick is the Take-Two CEO, and he's no stranger to putting on the squeaky nose. But god damn it, this clown always finds a way to surprise me with just how delusional he is. When asked if the film's success or failure will make any meaningful impact on Take-Two, Zelnick said no. Financially, the film won't make a dent. And then he dropped to his knees in his private jet saying, "Give the film a chance." Let's give the film a chance. A lot of people worked really hard on it. The underlying intellectual property is phenomenal. The cast is amazing. I think the look and feel is really terrific. So let's see what audiences have to say. But to answer your question, no, the performance of the film wouldn't have a financial impact on us or on the franchise one way or another. I am certain Strauss Zelnick has never touched Borderlands in his life. If he ever even held a game controller, I bet that shit would burn his flesh like a vampire in the sunlight. The guy is just a corporate drone. He is this husk that has human flesh grafted onto it. He's just this being of greed. He doesn't know Borderlands. I doubt he's ever touched the game, and I'm pretty confident he hasn't watched the movie either. In fact, I'm more confident that he hasn't seen the film than I am confident that the sun will rise tomorrow. I also love how he mentions the cast being terrific. How out of touch can you fucking be? That's one of the biggest complaints about the film from everyone with eyes. The casting in this movie makes no sense at all. It's clear the bulk of the budget went with just getting A-list celebrities on board, and they probably had to pay out the wazoo for it, because none of them really seem like they want to be there at all, so they probably had to fucking fork over fat doubloons like Scrooge McDuck here to get them to put their name on this pile of dog shit. It is an embarrassing movie, and the actors seem embarrassed to be in it. So they spent all of their money getting Kevin Hart, Jamie Lee Curtis, Cate Blanchett, Jack Black. Jack Black being the only one that tries at all in this film. Everyone else just like fucking sleepwalks through it. That is not something to highlight. It's very clear that the entire
I just fucking blew myself up. I thought that was you.
To make a good movie. It was to just try and sell tickets by having
hey, at least you don't get the kill.
To it. It's the worst tactic ever. It's a certified how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man moment. There are so many video game adaptations that have come before this that have proven infinite number of times now that this formula doesn't work. If you make an adaptation that doesn't pay respect to the source material and just doesn't even try, it doesn't work. It flops financially. The reception to it is bad. Like, look at the Halo show which recently just got canceled. Or the
I literally got a direct hit on my tank. I literally got a direct hit on my tank. It wasn't even. It was a direct hit. My tank got vaporized. There was nothing but my turret and a little piece of metal on the ground from my hole.
Convincing them that the way to make adaptation successful is just by getting big name actors on board. Like, it just doesn't work.
I have the fucking vaporization shell on hand. You better be ready for it.
Star-studded cast for this $5.
I don't know where you're at, but you better pray that I don't find you.
It makes no sense. If you make a bad
the vaporization shell will vaporize your tank. It'll do as the name suggests it will.
I don't know how that lesson hasn't been learned yet. Strauss also reached deep into his bag of tricks here to try and get more asses in the seats by playing the classic, come on guys, people worked really hard on this film, we should all support it. There's a bear shit in the woods, obviously there were some hard-working people behind the scenes on this film. Also, Strauss, since you really seem to care so much about the hard-working team here, you might want to look into why some of them didn't receive proper credit for their work. That's a bit suspicious, that's weird. But anyway, yes, there were people that worked hard on this movie, no doubt. But that doesn't mean that all of a sudden it's immune from criticism. It is not a good movie. And I would wager a guess that a lot of the people that worked hardest on this film were not the ones that were behind the scenes.
Death and death! I told you the vaporization shell goes hard.
We need Cate Blanchett in this movie. Pay fucking hand over fist amount of money to get Jamie Lee Curtis in our Borderlands movie. I imagine there was quite a few people that were actually passionate about Borderlands that were probably fucking crushed with what they had to do on this film, because it's not like they were at the top of the food chain putting together these awful decisions. And I also imagine that the VFX department was dreadfully overworked, like Hollywood has become so accustomed to doing here, because ultimately the visuals are really rough. And I never blame the VFX departments for that, because now I've become very well aware of just how cruel the industry is to that entire sector, and my heart actually breaks for them. So I imagine all of the hardest working people were the ones that Strauss doesn't know a single name of. It's so silly to try and deflect by calling in the ambulance about, like, come on, someone worked really hard on this, you can't be mean to it. Like, that doesn't make any sense. It costs $15 to $20 per ticket to see this movie. That's a lot of fucking clams. And it's not worth it at all. And there's nothing wrong with talking about why it's not worth it. He then has the nerve to say that Take-Two is really selective about what games it turns into films, and says that the company doesn't want its imprint on anything unless it's superb. Really, Strauss, you would consider the Borderlands movie superb. This would meet that criteria.
I did not understand what the fuck that means. I'll be back.
It's not core to them, you know, they don't need to be doing this because it doesn't have like a massive effect on them, like their bottom line or anything, so it'll probably maintain its approach to only doing so selectively in the foreseeable future. But this article did remind me that there's another project in the work here, a Bioshock film at Netflix. If that didn't shin Civic... Oh my god, I'm having a full-blown Porky Pig moment here out of pure disgust. If that didn't send shivers down your spine, I don't know what will. A Bioshock Netflix film. Following the banger that is the Borderlands movie, what a recipe for success, huh? Who's counting the days, right? Like, get your calendars ready. I can't wait for that fucking thing to drop. That's gonna be a real heater. Throw out all your DVDs and Blu-rays and forget everything you thought you knew about cinema, because it's about to be redefined with the next fucking Take-Two film project here with Bioshock coming to Netflix. Oh my pussy trembles in fear at the thought of how bad that might be. If the Borderlands movie is any indication of the quality coming forward, we're in for a real treat with the Bioshock film. I'm already just preparing to be really stunned at how bad that one might be. They'll drop like the announcement trailer and it'll reveal that James Corden has been cast as a Big Daddy. It's just so weird to me how we're still getting horrible adaptations. The roadmap is there. We have seen so many good adaptations recently. Like, you can see that all of the success is right there, and they just out of spite choose not to follow that and instead just be like, no, we know better. than fans of the property that we're adapting. In fact, we know the direction that people actually want to see it to make it accessible to all audiences. And then they do what they did 20 years ago when every adaptation was trash. Let's all point and laugh at the absolute floundering it's doing in the box office right now. It's open to $4 million so far. On a $100 million budget, that is super rough. Unsurprisingly, people aren't just blindly going to see it because of the A-list actors in it. They're not just zombies flooding in the door to watch this pile of shit just because those names are attached to it. It seems like you actually have to make a pretty decent movie, too, to get people to get in the seats. What an absolute clunker. $4 million is significantly lower than I would have ever imagined for this film, and I'm actually super proud that people aren't just going to see it just because of the title of it or the actors in it. It really isn't worth the time or money. So it's very reassuring to see that it's doing so poorly here, because it, under no circumstances, should succeed. It's purely a cash grab that isn't grabbing much cash right now. They actually would have made more money if they just compiled every cutscene from the Borderlands series into a movie and released it.
Damn, you still haven't killed me yet?
Would have made more off just the fucking AdSense from that, as opposed to this $100 million theatrical catastrophe. But yeah, don't listen to Strauss. It's not worth giving the film a chance. The movie's just bad. That's about it. So yeah. Yesterday, the CEO of YouTube stepped down.
Just typing gibberish.
$6,465, $5,363, $45,463 plus $647,464.
So I would argue she's basically just been the community's spittoon. For any time there's something wrong, people just start spitting on her and accusing her of being the mastermind, the puppet master behind all of the bad decisions. Whether or not that's true, I have no idea, but she was the CEO.
I've never seen binoculars in this game.
Never got fixed, and YouTube has been in a tumultuous state over the 9 years of her at the helm. However, this led a lot of people to believe that with Susan stepping down, things would...
Bro, will you stop typing angry gibberish in my chat, bro?
Over the course of the night, I noticed a lot more people...
Stop typing angered gibberish. Play the game.
Now we can have fucking Captain Underpants come in here and bring about the golden age, or, you know, this and that. Because Susan's no longer there. I mean, she's going to have to be replaced by somebody great, was the perception a lot of people started to adopt. However, in the wise words of Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn, there's always a shittier fish. It was announced who the new CEO would be, and over the course of the night, people started to look into them. The new CEO
this as carburetor up UTV versus a lot.
Carburetor up UTV versus a lot? I don't know what that says. Bro, what are you talking about, dude? Oh, binoculars. L1 plus triangle. Oh. Ooh, I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know this was a thing. Oh, I found it.
Was this ham-fisting of Web3, blockchain, and NFT shit. So Web3 opens up new opportunities for creators. We believe new technologies like blockchain and NFTs can allow creators to build deeper relationships with their fans. Spoken like a true asshole who owns 2 Bored Apes and thinks he's going to own the planet. Together, they'll be able to collaborate on new projects and make money in ways not previously possible. For example, giving a verifiable way for fans to own unique videos, photos, art, and even experiences from their favorite creators could be a compelling prospect for creators and their audiences. So basically, just trying his best to justify an inclusion of Web3 crypto NFT shit. I'm going to tell you right now, NFT is one of the yuckiest words in the human language right now. It is an acronym that elicits more pain than CBT, cock and ball torture. It's painful, and it's synonymous with scams. And this was during a time where NFT crypto scams were still rampant. It's not like this was before the huge wave of bad actors came in and ruined NFTs. No, NFTs have been a scam for quite some time, even during this time that Neil tried to push it to YouTube. So there was huge pushback, and I guess somewhere along the pipeline slapped this idea down, because we got lucky enough to not have it. Now that NFT Neil's at the helm here, the one at the top of the food chain calling the shots, who's to say he won't dust off this little poop nugget here that's an absolutely atrocious idea? And maybe this time around there's not that rogue vigilante Batman to say, not on my watch, and decline the idea. He is, like, the leader now of YouTube. And it's a little concerning how hog wild he wanted to go with Web3 coming to the platform. So that is very, not great, and a lot of people are much more pessimistic now after learning about this. But it also gets even worse. As Chief Product Officer of YouTube, that means Neil would have also had a hand in removing dislikes. Now, I'm not putting this entirely on his shoulders. This was a decision made by a lot of people at the highest level of YouTube. But Neil, as the CPO, would have 100% had a say in it.
Dude, have you not found me yet? Or have you found me and you're just shooting at me doing basically plinking? Oh, I see you.
Huge problem. That is still one of the worst features, or really,
I see you.
YouTube has ever had, and they still haven't backpedaled on it. And with Neil at the helm, I'm very less optimistic about
I
it coming
see
back,
you.
since he was already in a position that likely played a huge role in bringing it to the platform.
What is going on?
I see a lot of people misattributing this solely to a Neil idea, but I can find no information on him being the one that proposed it. He was just leading a team that obviously worked on it. So maybe there is a chance Neil was outspoken against it, but overruled by his peers. I'm hoping.
Why don't you play the game and stop typing in my chat before I turn off interaction so you can't do it anymore?
To immediately earn the trust of the entire community, and that's to announce that dislikes are coming back. Dislikes will be public again. If he did that tomorrow, he's like, listen guys, I'm a champion of the people here. I'm bringing back dislikes. This was awful. I don't know what we were thinking. We were drinking stupid juice at the office when we came up with this idea. It's coming back. If he did that, everyone would immediately rally behind him and be like, oh my god, YouTube could possibly improve. He's going to listen to community feedback. This is great. But I'm not sold on that being in the realm of possibility ever. I'd like it to be.
I had no honor.
But after reading all of this about Neil, I'm starting to think he may have been a pretty important figure behind the scenes for some of the worst features that YouTube was toying around with. But again, this is speculation. He could come in and do an amazing job, and that's what I'm hoping for, but it is not a great start considering what he's publicly tried to bring to the platform in the way of fucking NFTs. Like that, the fact that he proudly posted about NFTs coming to YouTube and him wanting to be the one to spearhead the operation, that's just such a bad look off rip. Like that, you couldn't have started your reign as CEO in a worse way. It would have been better if his fucking nudes leaked. Like that's so much worse as being the guy trying to bring NFTs to the platform. Oh my god. But again, it remains to be seen. He could come in here and knock it out of the park. Really fix up YouTube, really bring it to a better spot. Hopefully that'll be the case. I'm going to try not to focus too much on his past and instead look more at his future here as YouTube CEO. So yeah, anyway, just wanted to talk about this just a little bit. That's about it. So yeah, I know I look awfully disheveled right now, which is extremely unprofessional, and that's uncharacteristic of me, so I do apologize for the lack of professionalism. I look like
Marcus, why are you so ass at this, bro?
Just got out of the machine and is curious on what year it is. But there's a good reason for it. I'll briefly explain. I play pickup basketball every Thursday night. I'm getting absolutely filthy. I wouldn't be surprised if I got recruited into the NBA over the next couple of years, but that's besides the point. After the pickup basketball game this evening, I hopped on Twitter for the first time today and noticed something huge. Susan has stepped down as CEO of YouTube. This news kind of came out of nowhere. I haven't been this surprised since I was a child and learned that chocolate milk didn't come from brown cows. Susan has been the CEO of YouTube for the last 9 years, but she's been at Google for 25, and now she's hanging up her dancing shoes and stepping away from the company. However, she is still taking on an advisory role to Google and Alphabet, as I understand it. She did post a statement going into detail, just kind of like a swan song on the way out, going over the years and the progress that the platform has made. Really, the whole post feels almost like a YouTube rewind. You know, at least the closest thing we've had over the last couple of years since they canned that whole thing. It's just a look at YouTube and what's happened since she's taken the helm. And her future plans aren't revealed at the moment. We don't know. It could be anything. You know, maybe she fucking announces an NFT project. You know, anything's possible. But there is one thing we do know. YouTube is going to have a new CEO. And most people are pretty pessimistic about it, for good reason. Now, I know a lot of people have criticized Susan, and rightfully so. There's plenty of things that you can point out as being suboptimal, and a lot of things that didn't ever get fixed that needed fixing, and changes that should have come but still haven't come. There's plenty of things that you can critique. But I have always maintained that at least Susan knew what was going on the platform. She talked to creators, even though it pretty much fell on deaf ears. Anytime a creator gave her advice, that YouTube would kind of wipe their ass with it, it felt like. She at least talked to them. She'd sit down and talk to some creators. She would post about YouTube frequently on Twitter. She seemed proud of the platform and would actively talk about YouTube. Which is one thing to say about a lot of tech CEOs in the business. And the example I always use is Twitch.
You're such
with
a
our
lucky
beloved Emmett Shear. I'm convinced this guy doesn't even know he's the CEO of Twitch. He seems genuinely embarrassed to even be associated with it. When you go to his Twitter bio, it's the last thing there, and he kind of downplays his involvement by just saying he's working on Twitch. The guy is literally the CEO of the platform, but I don't think you can find a single tweet he's made about Twitch. And he's never really made any appearances on Twitch. He doesn't talk about it or anything at all. I've only ever actually seen him one time to confirm he's a human being, and it was on a stream where he seemed kind of out of it, like he was either drunk or on Xanax, and he just didn't have any clue what he was talking about.
That's what it looks like with the cover on it?
I'd place a wager that Emmett couldn't name a single streamer on Twitch right now. So at least Susan seems
I like the discolored exhaust.
actively engaged with it. Even
Yeah, I was just showing you what people are still selling.
even though there was a lot of engagement at the very highest level,
I don't know if I like the darked out tinted thing.
Which thing?
Yeah.
She did identify problems, though falling short on fixing a lot of them. And they did roll out good features under her belt.
We'll probably talk them down to 5.
Some stinkers.
That's
so
6,500.
perfect rain, but it wasn't
Bet you catch him in the right day, you probably
There's
get
always been plenty
4,500.
of room for the platform to get shittier, and hopefully that won't
Is
be the case.
6,000 a good price?
I'd like to
Yeah, I'd offer him
that
5,500.
Huh.
But
That way I have
time
a
will
little
tell.
extra in case I
I'm
want
going
to
to
do
try and
something to
remain
the bike.
optimistic on the future of the platform. Though I do want to mention something.
That was
in
so
regards to the
instant. You didn't even
timing
stand a
of
chance.
Susan
You should not have been
stepping
open
down.
like
I don't know
that.
how many of you know about this
You should
currently,
not have been
but there's
open
an
like that.
extremely important
I
legal
just
battle going
pointed
on
at
right
you,
now called
shot my cannon. I didn't really aim that. I didn't even really aim that. I just pointed and shot.
Completely changed not only the entire landscape of YouTube, but the internet as a whole. Legal Eagle actually just posted a video going over this case in detail, and I can't recommend the video enough so you get a sense for exactly what's going on and the severity of it. I'm going to break it down into its most basic form. YouTube had a problem where it was recommending ISIS videos, extremist content to users. And what ended up happening is it radicalized some users and it led to a legitimate terror attack. And this put this whole problem on display and has led to this lawsuit, which is now getting into very, very dangerous territory with something called Section 230. That's as far as I'm going to go in the breakdown, but Section 230 is instrumental in the internet landscape. Without it, the internet doesn't function as it currently does. It's a lot worse in many, many, many different ways. Check out Legal Eagle's video on the case. But the reason why I'm mentioning this is because this has YouTube in its crosshairs. Google entirely, but the problem stemmed from YouTube. And now Susan steps down during this extremely crucial period. That's setting off alarm bells for me. Now, I know Susan's not going to court with, like, a sword and a shield ready to do battle for YouTube. She's not a fucking lawyer, right? I know she's not the one actually tackling them in the court of justice for the fucking WWE SmackDown Gonzalez vs. Google. But she is the public-facing company. She is very high up in the company, obviously. She is a senior leadership position. So during a moment like this kind of huge deal, I would expect her to want to be there to fight for it. To be there and lend her 25 years of experience and expertise in the field to help navigate these waters and to try and make things smooth and get the best outcome here. So her stepping down during this is a little weird to me, and maybe it's because I'm a little naive on the exact structure of YouTube as well as how Google compartmentalizes it. Like, maybe she really would be completely worthless in this case and would offer no valuable insight, but I just find that hard to believe since the problem stemmed from her neck of the woods, YouTube. which she's the CEO of, I feel like she would have the deepest insight and understanding in order to help with the case, but maybe that's not how it works. I just still find the timing to be a little concerning given the severity of the Gonzalez vs. Google case. But anyway, back to talking about the future of the platform. We are going to see a new CEO enter into the Thunderdome.
I might actually be able to kill you with this. I might actually be able to kill you with this thing.
I'm hoping it'll be great, but you know, it remains to be seen. They've got a lot of work to do. Are we going to see really sweeping improvements? Like, are things going to be getting fixed? Is the new CEO going to be focusing on fixing broken things like the?
I wouldn't get too close to me, by the way. I'm genuinely saying I would not get too close to me if I were you. I told you. I tried to tell you not to get too close.
Features that are good. And I don't even have any conception of like any possible fucking idea on. I will say the beauty of someone new stepping into the CEO right now is there is an easy lamp they can make that would instantly earn the trust of the entire community. Just an absolute fucking free bread basket. Bringing back dislikes. It's that simple.
Dude, I didn't know this SPAA was actually this good. I didn't know it was this good. I knew it had pen power at like fucking close range, but I didn't know it was that good.
That would set the entire tone of the new CEO's reign as, you know, the top dog here. It would showcase to the community that the CEO can recognize issues, can see community feedback, and actually take it into account when going forward. Bringing back dislikes is the #1 thing this new CEO can do instantly to get off on the right foot and have a very strong start.
Well, shit, I can't do anything anymore.
Are we going to see them double down on some
I'm kind of
ideas,
fucked
like
here.
when they floated the idea of
For some reason, my gun doesn't aim down, so...
that timeless classic when they required you to have a Google Plus account in order to comment on the platform, which was an absolute burning bag of dog shit of an idea? Like, are we going to see more ideas like that are just overwhelmingly horrible and terrible? But yeah, anyway, we'll just have
We're back to the Devastator. We're back to the Devastator.
Hopefully it's great. Big wet sloppy kisses all around. The platform improves entirely. That'd be ideal. But yeah. Anyway,
Marcos.
that's about it.
I'm back in the Devastator.
Best. The #1 in your industry. You've got to be willing to put everything on the line. And today's story is about a man who did just that. A man with dreams to be the #1 bouncy castle business. He wanted to be the jumping castle god. But unfortunately, he flew
this
close to the
fucker
sun
is
and his
so
wings burned
fucking
up.
devastating, dude. This thing fucking ruins days.
Castles. He committed a series of arson attacks on rival bouncy castle businesses. His name is James Malcolm, and he looks like a silly character you'd make with the Dark Souls character creator. He's currently serving an 11-year sentence for all of this, and I just found the whole story, it's so wild. I legitimately feel bad for all the rival businesses because a few of them lost their entire business to his arson attacks. So there were very real victims and very real trauma from it, from having their literal place of work be lit on fire and fucking incinerated by this madman, this lunatic. So I wanted to go over this story here because it's a weird one. Did you see the video of the bouncy castle king that was jailed over a string of fire attacks on his rival bouncy castle businesses? Oh my god, what? Anderson threw a Molotov cocktail through a smashed window at a business, causing a huge blaze that engulfed the factory and destroyed 110 jumping castles. And it looks like he's going to jail. And it looks like he's done quite a few of these. This is very interesting. This happened last month. You've been holding out on me? Why didn't you tell me about this? Jumping castle operator jailed over arson attacks on Melbourne rivals.
My tanks are back in Assen.
Set on destroying rival businesses that have
Back in Assen? What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck does back in Assen mean? You mean ass?
Jumping castle game.
Our fucking ass? Is that what you meant?
11 years over a series of arson attacks. What a crazy thing to commit your life to, being the #1 jumping castle guy. The whole bouncing castle cartel. It's so weird. It seems like most often the most unhinged business people are the ones in like the children's entertainment center or sphere. Like the bouncy castle guy is running like an arson.
That did nothing to me, dude.
Surprised this isn't from Florida. Fucking true. Hey, man. attacks on rival businesses was arrested after he ordered that his own shed be torched. Galaxy Brain covering his tracks. No, I'm not the one behind the arson attacks. Look, someone lit my empty shed on fire last night. We have to put a stop to fucking Firefly ASAP. Please, God, anyone, the Human Torch has gone loose. He's rogue. Only way to stay on top. I would argue the only way to stay on top is to legitimately be the best jumping castle business as opposed to the only one that's not lit on fire. For example, let's say I'm in the market for getting some bouncy castles and I really want high quality product. I'm checking Google and Awesome Party Hire is #1. But then I scroll down and it says like all the ones underneath it are literally cremated. I'd be like, this is fishy. I'll just get a bigger birthday cake. Fuck the castle. I feel like there'd just be like a very big red flag if that is the only jumping castle business that's left standing. 3 days after a March 2017 fire, Anderson was arrested and subsequently named Balcom as the instigator of the blaze and the attacks on rival businesses. Now, this has been going on for a while. Balcom, 58, appeared on Thursday by video from prison in the county court.
Good God, bro. You ever here driving a tank with 6 crew members and him still fucking cremating your ass? Just like Balcom cremated those fucking bouncy castle fucking businesses.
They got him. I really am imagining like a Godfather situation. Like, it really seems so fucking intense in the bouncy castle game.
What tank is that? Back in your fucking 1840? Back in your 1840? Sorry to be obliterated, but boom. Obliteration was the only option. Now I slink away like the rat I am.
And that cost is fire and flames.
Marcos, it's 14-3. What are you doing?
That came before them, and they don't even know it. It impacted the lives, livelihood of others, and caused significant loss, suffering, and emotional trauma. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Arsenal do that to you. One business was targeted 3 times.
You're back
at
in
that point, just hire
1869 now.
firefighters on standby.
Where is that at?
That is so interesting. What does he look like?
I'll figure out soon enough. And then obliterate you.
Oh wow, this. I imagine you also got an image in your head of some like lunatic-looking guy. I'm just gonna tell you right now, he looks exactly like the image you have in your head.
That was like tragic. That was so tragic.
What the fuck? It's always the people you least expect, I suppose. Jesus. Why is his head so pointed? I don't know, man.
Target destroyed.
6-character creator, I have no idea.
The thing is, I didn't see you until you shot your tank.
You got done dirty, though, I'll tell you that much. God, this is so powerful. You became very successful in the jumping castle industry, but you also became completely fixated and obsessed with it. It consumed your every waking moment. Court Judge Stuart Bales told Balcom. You became the Dark Knight. You fell right into the Joker's palms.
Dude, you're getting spawn killed by me, bro. I'm over here spawn killing this kid.
He's already served 2 years of his sentence. So this must have been when they brought him in. They probably had to drag him kicking and screaming out of his bouncy castle. 110 jumping castles ignited and lost in an instant. Jeez, they lost their entire business from that. Have you seen the Sintbird CEO? She does a podcast with her eyes closed to talk to spirits and said Hitler wasn't bad. What? The Sintbird CEO does this. Wait, I know Sintbird. Yeah, wait, you're right. The Sintbird CEO claims to be a spiritual medium. Or, sorry, not a spiritual medium, a spiritual guru. The co-founder of the Netflix for Fragrance, Mariah Nuraslamova, has been moonlighting as a spiritual influencer and comments on extraterrestrials.
Were you not able to damage me for a short while? Looks like you weren't able to damage
Your
me.
teeth are not randomly crooked. There is a spiritual meaning. Every little aspect of the tooth is a map, right? This sounds beautifully unhinged. You see they found a cave on the moon? Oh, we got moon. That's pretty cool. I can't find the clips anywhere else right now, so right now, completely reliant on the YouTubers here to bless me with this info. I want to see these readings.
Version of the Matrix would be the default one. The 5th version of the Matrix is actively being incubated, and according to Maria, it's showing really good signs and it's looking promising.
Now there is a version of the Matrix that's being...
It's crazy how I just stopped you in your tracks with one shot. That's crazy.
Really good promise. So
Maria mentions having a direct...
Wait a minute, I need to go to her website.
I'm just able to fucking obliterate you with one shot.
She is the CEO of Scentbird, which I think many of you have probably seen through YouTube sponsors. They were pretty big on influencer marketing, from what I recall.
So when you are inviting black into your body, you're not inviting demons, God forbid. You're not inviting evil into your body. You are inviting this moldable substance.
That wasn't a trade? What do you mean that wasn't a trade? That's bullshit. Oh, you hit me in the perfect spot to do it. You hit me in such a lucky spot. That was luck on your side right there.
Where she talks about Hitler and everything. I don't even know about her curse technique.
I mean, I'm in the presence of an architect, of the Great Architects Council of Light, but sadly that
is big. That is big.
Automatically cross while listening to her guided meditation for an ultimate wound detox.
What? Ultimate wound detox? Hey, hold on, I can use that.
Hello, my darlings, and welcome to our sacred universe, a podcast where we meditate together.
I'm ready.
Today I wanted to offer you a womb healing practice.
Thank you.
Our womb space is where we deposit a lot of our hurt, a lot of our pain, a lot of our suffering. But a womb space, or if you will, our sacral space,
I have
something that everyone has.
I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?
If you haven't checked out my book yet,
Hold on. I don't need the hashtag ads here. Just give me my womb needs a little bit of assistance here.
Keep breathing in and out.
Imagine I just have a full body orgasm from this.
To ground and center yourself. Invite the healing vibrations of the universe to enter the sacred space of your womb.
See, like, we skip a step. How do I invite the healing vibrations of the universe to fuck my womb or whatever? Like, what do I do? Like, how do I send out the distress signal? That's why these guided meditations always fall apart for me. Like, they make it sound like it's so easy that I can just call upon healing vibrations. Like, I'm not a shaman. Like, can you call it for me? Next thing we should book a reservation. Yeah, what availability do the healing vibrations have in the universe? I imagine they're probably pretty booked up. Why are you detoxing your womb? It sounded helpful. If you're just tuning in, to give you context, this individual, Maria, is the CEO of Scentbird, which is actually a pretty big company, or at least it was. I don't know if it still is. And according to Chatter, the Scentbird CEO has found herself into some controversy because of this line of work, where apparently she was saying that Hitler wasn't bad through her spiritual guru sessions, and I'm trying to locate that, but I'm getting all, like, sidetracked here, going through these alternate branching paths in the visual novel. So I'm still looking for that, but it's such an interesting tangent. Big thanks to HopperGX for sponsoring this video.
I hate that it's so fucking lucky with this shot.
Night on stream. It's just my go-to browser, and it has so many features that I just really have come to know and love. Obviously, the one that I always preach about, because it's the one I'm most enthusiastic about, is the fact that HopperGX is not a resource hog like Chrome and other browsers. It is so lightweight but so powerful, and the GX mods that it offers are super fun, so you can really customize it to make it feel like your own and make it feel super unique. So many things you can change and tinker around with. There's so many different ways of integrating extensions that you're already used to in other browsers to seamlessly transition them into Opera. They have the GX Explorer. They just have so many features. The hot tabs killer, forcing things to go from flashbang into forced dark mode, so you don't have to go to a new website and then just get blinded by a bright light. It's just the best browser, in my opinion. So, big thanks to Opera GX for sponsoring this. You can download Opera right now for free by clicking the link in the description. The dark truth about coffee is a toxin that darkens your aura. What? Coffee is bad for your aura?
It also darkens our aura, as it does. As it does so, as it works on the body. So it's almost like when coffee gets into your aura, it creates these little anchors, or these little dots of itself. It's almost like it gives an energetic imprint into your body. What? And though that energetic imprint is kind of what causes an addiction, because it's good.
The energetic imprint.
Marcus, come on, bro, lock in, dude, lock in.
How the fuck does it touch my aura?
When you evolve. Okay. Over time, what ends up happening
it's like watching an Abrams go up against the fucking
so you grow and expand, and you grow and expand by accumulating more light and kind of releasing darkness, if that makes sense. Over here,
that makes so much sense, actually.
Things in your life are dependent on how much light you can hold within your body, especially if you're on a spiritual path. For people that are able to hold on a lot of light in their auric fields, their spiritual gifts open up, their abundance channels open up, their talents open up, essentially like their higher selves come through, and then the body's considered clean.
Dude,
so the higher self
I kill you one shot every time, bro.
That's a lot to process. She's blowing the lid wide open on what it means to be alive. Your higher self gave you this name for a reason. I mean, it's my dad's name. Is that the reason my higher self gave it to me? These are so interesting. I'm never gonna find a video where she's apparently talking about Hitler. I'm just gonna keep going down these wacky fucking titles. Why did my higher self name me Charles?
Hello, my darling.
I feel like it's because it's my dad's name.
This is Maria. The topic for today, Maria.com. Alright, the mystery of the name. This is kind of a fun topic.
It's not a mystery.
Takes you 15 to 20 rounds to take me out.
Vowels and the consonants
in 16 different tanks.
It connects you to certain aspects of universal flow, universal energy, if you will, and
like Jesus
so
Christ, bro.
In a good way, to your name, you have a claim over those energies.
Okay, I claim all of the energies of C-H-A-R-L-E and S. No one else can have them. That's my domain now, and I'm kicking everyone else out. Eliminate pain and heal a specific organ or part of your body. Teaching you how to use the Force. Are you a star seed? Yes. One thing that did come up though is called the Karma of Atlantis. It's time to release it. Here's how you can do it right now. Like Atlantis myself.
I'm bored.
I can do that?
I'm bored of absolutely fucking slamming you, bro.
Brand that normally wouldn't show up on my scam/problematic radar scanner.
Scentbird.
Scentbird.
Yeah, I told you it was a big thing. Told you that.
That at least outwardly, because the CEO of Scentbird.
How many kills do I have? 20! Goddamn, 2 to 5! Jesus Christ, Marcos! What are you doing?
People were to align with their life purpose, we would see a lot of
What did I do to make this tank so overpowered compared to whatever you have? Dude, do you...
1.0 tank.
Do you want to change it? Do you want to change it, my guy?
Is one of the poster children for like being an evil person. Do you know how many millions of souls benefited from learning from the experience that he has? So is he evil? Not really. I don't think so.
Wow, Maria. Those spiritual sessions are sending you down the loony path.
A lot of hidden agendas by the powers that be. And
switch your tanks and
those
ready up.
hidden agendas remain hidden
I'm gonna get
because
tired,
there is
man.
not enough heart space energy in humanity to be able to bring them to light. The heart energy is always the energy of light. The heart energy is always the energy that essentially you emanate your energy from the heart. The heart is one of those energies that if your heart is activated internally, you can heal your whole body in a matter.
I will say if your heart isn't activated, you're probably not watching this video in the first place. You were dead. Most likely. Barring some like very fringe cases.
That is the power of the heart. It changes your internal ecosystem and it changes your external ecosystem. It just does. It is meant to.
Did you change the tanks?
Well, who knew? Who knew? It's like breathing techniques from Demon Slayer, but for your heart. It can do anything. It's just like a bunch of gobbledygook. It's like there's nothing that binds these statements together. It's just like a random assortment of words that have no real meaning. This is the problem when I'm looking through pages like this. I get so distracted by so many cool titles. She has one here called Babies Control How Long Their Birth Is. Like, this is unhinged.
That's why certain births take so long, is in a state of resistance. If the baby's in a state of fear, if the baby doesn't want to access their masculine energies, the birth process is going to take longer. That's why some...
Wait, what? The baby doesn't want to tap into its masculine energies, so it doesn't want to be birthed? What the fuck? The baby comes out like scoops of, like, creatine? What in the world? Shit's not even born in amniotic fluid, it's just like a bunch of, like, trin. What is this? What is she talking about? This isn't even spiritual.
I have a hard time answering the question about evil because there is such a big gap between how humanity perceives good versus evil and how, you know, even beings in the seventh dimension perceive.
The seventh dimension? Who's in the seventh dimension?
Higher self perceives.
Glorbus? Like,
how source
who are you communicating with in the seventh fucking dimension?
Stepping back. Let's say your higher self wants to understand murder.
Should be easy to understand.
A fascinating subject for your higher self. Okay. It wants to understand the angle. So your higher self may choose to come as a victim, as the mother of the victim, as the father of the victim.
Why?
As the teacher of the victim.
Why would it want her? So, based on what I've gathered, very limited exposure to her spiritual guru benevolence, it seems like she believes you are the product of your higher self wanting to be experimental. So when something bad happens, it's because your higher self is trying to learn about it. So here, she's using murder as an example. So if you are someone who gets murdered or associated with the victim of a murder, it's because your higher self wanted to be in that position. It was all predestined because your higher self wanted to be present for it, to learn about it. Which is the dumbest idea ever. That's actually the stupidest fucking idea.
And by the way, like, look at Hitler is one of the poster children for, like, being an evil person. Do you know how many millions of souls benefited from learning from the experience that he has created? So here, you know, look at a character like him and be like, oh, he's completely evil. And upstairs, his experience was the greatest, one of the greater, you know, sources of knowledge of, you know, of 3D planet Earth warfare.
3D planet Earth warfare.
That has benefited so many different souls on their...
Stop fucking moving. Stop. Really? We're using smoke shells? Are we being serious right now?
The healing vibrations of the universe have not been kind to her frontal lobe.
Idiot. Why would you switch to smoke shells? Brett knew he wasn't going to be able to hit me, so there's no point. Brett?
I think so.
It's so interesting. So just convinced that some higher selves choose to take this path, and it seems like it's maybe a bit less desirable than other ones because we don't have that many murderers and mass murderers especially, right? But they still choose to do so for their own development. Like,
well, do you want me to give you an better example?
Yeah.
That was an incredible example.
Playing World of Warcraft is evil because you're killing things.
Like in a computer game?
Yeah.
People don't think it's evil, yes.
I know. Same logic. In higher self level, like, fine, like, I don't know, any of
the logic. Yeah, killing goblins in World of Warcraft is the same as Hitler for the Holocaust. You hypocrites. What an interesting character she is. Her higher self has very much shown her a great justice. Her enlightenment is astounding. She's trolling? I don't know, she has a whole career based out of this, and apparently you can even pay for these sessions privately. But her main hustle is Scentbird, which again is a pretty popular product, or at least it was for a little while. She's the CEO of it, or at least was.
RPG games, I think RPG is what they're called, right? Like where you like go and like murder, you know, all kinds of beings every Sunday,
they're
with
pixels.
all kinds of weapons, and you're like, I need this strength and I need this skill, and let me have this gun, and I want a bigger gun, and either more bullets and blah blah blah. I mean,
oh shit.
You may have murdered 1,000 beings.
They're not beings. They're not real.
And you go on your merry way, and nobody's pointing a finger at you at work, being like, this is a mass murderer. But how is that any different? So that's all.
That's so good.
What you perceive as
oh my god.
It's not the same experience. Now, you as an avatar, right? You as a person who chooses to play a game, you choose what game you want to play, right? Like you may go and play Candy Crush. You may go.
She's so fascinating. Like she's dangerously stupid. Like actually stupid to a level where it could be harmful to people around her. Like there's nothing wrong with being like harmlessly dumb, but when you start to cross the threshold, the event horizon that she is, she's to the point where like she is actually probably a threat to the safety of those around her. Yeah, like even her co-host is laughing at that. Alright, we don't have to continue down this rabbit hole. I'll stop. This kind of shit though is always just so interesting to me. The co-host is her husband, who is also co-founder and CPO of Scentbird. That must be a great relationship. Honey, I'm gonna have a cup of coffee. And Maria comes out, no! Slaps the coffee mug out of his hands. It's gonna darken your aura. Remember what happened when you killed that level 6 bug in World of Warcraft? You're just like Hitler. Whenever I see a massive company start to show signs of failure and going down the path of collapse, I'm often reminded of the late, great Blockbuster, God rest its soul. The pioneer who really did it first. A company deemed too big to fail, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. And there's been a couple other companies that have gone down a similar path, and right now there is a new one pulling a Blockbuster, Niji-Sanji. Whether or not you're a huge VTuber fan, you're at least familiar with the industry. VTubing is huge, and it has been for years now. It's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions. And in this space, there are two agencies that stand atop the others as kind of the titans of the space. It's Hololive and Niji-Sanji. Now, Niji-Sanji has an English branch that right now is going through one of the most foul displays of mismanagement, cruelty, and just downright terrible business practice I've seen in quite some time. It's a real head-scratcher because every single day they continue to dig themselves a deeper and deeper hole. It's like this company is run by a Voltorb that is obsessed with using the move self-destruct. It is just bent on burying itself. So I definitely wanted to talk about it now that I'm fully caught up on the situation. There is so much to go over. There's a really good video that breaks down like the main timeline here for what happened, and it comes from Mugen. I'll go ahead and play the main catalyst for this, and then we can actually turn to a series of Reddit comments that were left that I think go over the entire history of the Niji-Sanji problems that have come to light, and then fast forward to what just happened last night, or an even bigger controversy just unfolded. So there really is a lot to cover, and all of it's looking terrible for Niji-Sanji, the English branch, that is. Now, when I first was made aware of this on stream a little while ago, I said that I'm not even surprised by it because a lot of these VTuber agencies have a history of some very terrible things going on behind the scenes. Many of you know I started my own agency for YouTubers and streamers a while back called Human Media Group. We recently merged with Jimmy Here's group and became Mana Talent Group. And over the years, I've actually seen a couple of these VTuber contracts that they were formerly under. And it is downright evil what some of them were doing to the talent that they manage. I obviously can't get into the specifics of it, but it is some horrible stuff. Some really bad stories, bad things that we saw from them. But even being familiar with some of the horror stories that we've learned over the years from some agencies, I was shocked to see just how bad Niji-Sanji was here. So I want to focus more on the most recent stuff that just happened, but I still would like to give you a foundation for what started all of it. So for that, I'll turn to this clip from Mugen's video that breaks down this whole situation and just give you the catalyst. This was the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, fundamentally, that kicked off this world war against Niji-Sanji, all of which they brought upon themselves by being just complete, unreasonable, evil assholes.
It all started on Christmas Day, a day you're meant to enjoy with family. It couldn't have gone worse. The trigger for this entire catastrophe? A music video. Selen had worked on a music video for her fans. She paid $15,000 out of her own pocket because Niji-Sanji wouldn't fund it. And on top of not funding it, what do? They take down the video in under 24 hours. No explanation to the public. Remember what I said about corporations and how they have access to all social media of their VTubers? Yeah, that's what happened, and she couldn't do anything about it. All she could realistically do under the very tight contracts and NDAs of a corporation is make up a vague tweet, sort of explaining what's going on to her fans.
Selen was a VTuber that was very popular and was with Niji-Sanji's English branch. And she had a history of being super, super involved in her community. She called them Dragoons. And she wanted to do a special music video for the community and paid $15,000 out of her own pocket to make it happen for the fans. And she posted it thinking that it was totally okay to do because she self-funded it when Niji-Sanji declined to, but they made a big stink about it and took the video down, even though she had permission for the song that was used and even though it came from her own piggy bank instead of theirs. They didn't like that it didn't get the proper approval through the internal management. Because the way Niji-Sanji runs their company, it's with a fucking iron fist. You need permission to fart on stream as a VTuber under that agency. And since she didn't get all of the proper channels to sign off on it, they took it down. Which of course was a huge hit to Selen and her community because they worked very hard on that project. So she made a vague statement explaining that, well, management took it down, but she actually encouraged her community to re-upload it across the platform because she wanted it to live on.
There's a hole in my fucking turret thing, the thing on top of my tank, the hatch.
This soured relations between Selen and Niji-Sanji, and behind the scenes it led to a lot of harassment and bullying from Niji-Sanji against Selen.
Because out of nowhere, on December 27th, she tweets on her account, "I apologize for the silence. I've been in the hospital after an accident and will be staying there for a few days to be under supervision. I just got back access to my phone yesterday." Now, of course, people were happy she was out of the hospital, but the concern was still there. It was very vague, and people didn't know what was going on. The Selen Tatsuki termination notice. "I will not be silenced anymore. On December, I was hospitalized for an attempt that was caused by a buildup of bullying from within and being in a toxic and poor environment for numerous months that led to my breaking point. I requested to leave first, but on more neutral terms, on the 26th of January.
Obviously, I chopped this up and Frankenstein together this little segment to give you a very concise timeline. So, Selen made a post about how she's going to need to take some time away after an accident that landed her in the hospital. Everything was very vague. Eventually, she explains that she's been discharged from the hospital, and then shortly thereafter, Niji-Sanji English branch announced the termination of Selen Tatsuki. The termination letter is very poorly explained as to why she's exactly being fired. Now, when it comes to VTubers, there's two ways that departing a company goes. One is a graduation stream, where they graduate from the company and it means that they are leaving on good terms. So they have like a big send-off farewell stream and that's the end of it. Sail off into the sunset, sunshine and rainbows, it's a happy ending, you get the good ending. Or there's this, where you just get publicly terminated and just fucking slapped down by the company like this. And in this case, obviously Selen got the latter, where they just said, she's gone. Now,
that flew way over my fucking head, bro. What do you mean that hit me in the rear? I saw it fly over my tank. Now we're just helping out the fucking low level at this point. At this point, we're just dick riding. Okay.
Under their thumb, and they basically own all of it. So She lost access to everything here,
cock
and she
guzzling, bro.
didn't even know she was being terminated. She found out when this tweet dropped. They didn't even notify her. And the tweet, again, is very poorly explaining things. They talk about selling like it's a fucking IKEA furniture tutorial on how to put it together. It's just like talking about a bunch of nonsense about authorization flows not making sense and whatever. And then they cite like the music video and how when she made the tweet that management took it down, it damaged their brand and caused problems for them, this and that. It was just fucking stupid, a bunch of dirty barnacles. And then Selin went to her original account, her original brand of Doki Bird, to explain what actually happened is that due to the harassment and bullying and the toxic environment Niji Sanji created, she made an attempt on her own life and landed in the hospital. Luckily, she survived and is still with us today, but she no longer would be silenced by this company and bullied into being silent. So she started to explain what happened behind the scenes that led to all of this stress and all of these problems. She lawyered up and is engaged in now a legal battle with Niji Sanji, presumably, that is being worked on. And that is where all of this really started. That's when the floodgates opened. And with all of this information out there now, people were able to go back to some previous Niji Sanji talent with a finer tooth comb and see that the signs of a sinking ship had been there for quite a while. Signs of a company that mistreats its employees, signs of a company that is mismanaged and just downright diabolical behind closed doors. And I want to go over that because we have a lore master in the comments section of a live stream fails clip that I think does an extraordinary job of just laying all of this information out. So our guide is WeebShitter69. A great name for a great philosopher. So WeebShitter starts by explaining what Niji Sanji is and how big Niji Sanji is. And then takes us back to the past. March 10th, 2023, one of Niji Sanji's newer talents, Zion Lanza, was terminated, which again is being fired, publicly, and then put out this bullet point list of the infractions that they accrued. And at the time, people sided with Niji Sanji, but then stated that the way they handled it was a little unprofessional, especially coming from a multi-million-dollar company, and just overall not great. But since Zion no longer had access to their accounts, she returned to her original account that she had before joining, which was Sayu Synchronicity. Now, if you've followed this story for a while, you've probably seen this meme tossed around about Sayu was right, or Sayu tried to warn us, and this is what they're referring to. On that account, she revealed more information about her own experiences inside the company, hinting at a toxic environment, incompetent management and bullying, stealth suspensions, etc. And she further stated that she hopes other talent realize their own worth and that they deserve better. Some people sided with Sayu, but most didn't at the time. Then in May of 2023, Selin Tatsuki hosts a contest letting her fans design her next outfit. Niji Sanji management tried to put a stop to the very act of compensating the artists for their designs, while also trying to assert that artists who enter the contest should hand over the rights to the artwork for free. Selin refuses this notion and pays the winners out of her own pocket instead. She, a while after that, hinted that management no longer allowed her to organize events anymore, which sounds about par for the course for a company like Niji Sanji, where July 8th of 2023, Mina Kosaka graduated, meaning they left on good terms, had a farewell stream, but then comes back later with VShojo, which is another VTuber agency, as Matara Khan. That information will be pertinent later. August 27th of 2023, Mista Rias also graduates, saying that he was burnt out and no longer had any drive, and reappeared shortly after as K9 Kudo as the first male VTuber in VShojo. Again, information that'll be important here too. Once they settled in, statements from both of them saying how surprised they were that management and VShojo were actually helping them achieve their creative aspirations started to come out, and how they finally feel like they have worth after being repeatedly told by some that they did not, strongly echoing Sayu's previous statements, even revealing that they did not receive the YouTube plaques on their own channels during their time in Niji Sanji, but rather that the company kept them. So, Niji Sanji kept the plaques from the YouTube channels, meaning the 100,000 subscriber play button or the gold play button for 1 million. The talent didn't even see that, which is just such a scummy thing to do, obviously. Now, while Sayu was a relatively new member of Niji Sanji at the time, Mina and Mista were considered a cornerstone, thus the tide started to slowly turn. Then they jump a bit forward in the timeline, and that's when they fast forward to the Selen Christmas catastrophe with the music video that got taken down by management. And then in January, with the departure of Pomu Rainpuff, more people started to wonder how bad things were at Nijisanji. Pomu Rainpuff was one of their biggest VTubers and shocked everyone when they announced their graduation in January. And it was even more shocking when people didn't hear from Selen since they were friends. So that's when people started to worry about her safety. In February, another liver named Kyo Kaneko announced the graduation, which again brought the community into an uproar, wondering, why is there so many people departing all at once here? Is there like a waiting list, like this fucking purgatory or something with people waiting to go to the other side? And then on February 5th, Nijisanji released that termination notice. And that's when Doki Bird talked about what actually happened with her hospitalization following her unalive attempt that was built up from the stress that Nijisanji put upon her. And a lot of information started to come out, both from artists and other people who had previously worked with them, claiming that working with Nijisanji was never very good. There was delay in payments, NDAs being sent multiple times with the wrong name, just so many different things. But Selen had always paid the artists out of her own pocket during this period of turmoil while trying to work with Nijisanji. And following all of this new information coming to light, the public was understandably outraged, because this is just some deplorable garbage. The dam broke and they were flooded with tons and tons of angry fans. The tornado blew through and picked up 500 septic tanks, and the shitstorm that came with it was something that Nijisanji couldn't have possibly predicted. So Nijisanji's stakeholders started to suffer. They lost several sponsorships because of all of this. Apparently their stock price, like their valuation or whatever, started to plummet as well. It was a huge hit to their company, and it only continues to get worse by the day. So Selen revealed that she had spent like $250,000 of her own money on projects throughout the last year there, so she made no profit. And a very interesting piece of information that people brought up is that in December of 2022, Mista Rios had a slip of the tongue revealing that talent only gets 1% of merch sales, and other reports stating that it was a whole 2%. And this serves to showcase that Nijisanji doesn't just harass and bully their talent directly, they also financially fuck them. That is downright criminal. Only giving 1 or 2%, if they're feeling gracious enough, of merch sales to the talent is mind-boggling. And I saw a couple people defending this, and let me just go ahead and take you in real quick, because it looks like you blew it from Stupidville. That is unacceptable. Yes, the VTubers here don't actually own their avatar or anything. That does belong to Nijisanji, and they signed the contract and agreed to that. But without them, that merch doesn't move. They are still the sole force for why that merch sells in the first place, thus should be compensated fairly. If they don't make that tweet about the merch being available, if they don't talk about it on stream, 0 people buy it. And to only give them a 1 or at most 2% cut of that is just laughably pathetic and it's just depraved, really. And this also led to a meme that you've probably seen if you've been keeping up with it, about how Nijisanji's CEO was too busy on his yacht that he built on the back of his talent through exploiting them financially.
Bro loves Germany just because of that armor.
This information.
They use more tracks on the fucking armor. They use more tracks for armor than they do actually moving around. Got like fucking 15 inches of pure track on the front of your tank.
This is a completely unacceptable split. Under no circumstances should this be allowed. That is crazy. And what's even crazier is I know they're not the only ones that do that to their talent. In the VTuber space, I have seen some very unfair deals. Now, not this bad. I will say this is exceptionally horrible. But I wasn't surprised to learn that when I first saw that they take 98% of merch sales, because these VTuber agencies look for every possible way, at least the contracts I've seen from some of them, to squeeze every dime possible out of that talent while not letting them get the lion's share most of the time. I'm having to tiptoe around this a little bit because I don't want to get in any hot water with it. But yeah, it fucking sucks. That is awful. Now back to the Weeb Shitter archives here. Weeb Shitter then talks about what happened last night, which is what I want to talk about as well. So, the clip that he is referring to is Dokibird was streaming. She has now come back to streaming, trying to, you know, just have a good time with her community again, and things are going extremely well. She went from 10,000 subs to now over 500,000 subscribers. Her first stream back had over 100K concurrent. Absolutely fucking crushing it. And last night during her stream, which was her first gaming stream since being back, she had to end it early because fellow livers Alira Pandora, who'd been quiet since the announcement of Selin's termination, started a stream at the same time called A Message from Niji Sanji. And during the stream she was joined by other Niji Sanji VTubers, Ike, Eveland, and Vox Akuma. Both of them were thought to be friends of Selin, or Dokibird. And they read a totally not scripted message expressing how sad and betrayed they felt that Selin had given out personal information, like real names and other required information, about livers in her legal document that she sent over to Niji Sanji, and some of them stating that they had thoroughly read through it, as well as presenting Discord snippets between Selin and management. But it was presented by them thinking that it would absolve them. Now, I truly believe that Niji Sanji forced them to make this video. I think that they were 100% pressured into making this statement. I don't think the VTubers chose this, nor do I think they really believe what they were saying, because you'd have to be on some goddamn idiot juice to think that that was a good idea. Obviously, this is just inviting everyone in the community to throw tomatoes at you and scream, boo, boo, you stink. Like, it is a terrible statement from them, and the obvious big problem here, one that Dokibird also had to call attention to, is that it seems Niji Sanji seemingly shared confidential information with these parties that are unrelated to the issues, which could potentially include her medical information. Which is fucking illegal. You can't do that. You can't just share this personal information. You can't break NDAs, and you certainly can't share sensitive medical information. There's protections in place for that. That's a highly illegal thing to do. Meanwhile, goofballs at fucking Niji Sanji here were real loosey-goosey with Dokibird's information. Confidential information, it seems. So I'll go ahead and play the clip from Dokibird when she learned about all of this.
Despite everything that has happened, I was very sad to find out a personal document that was only shown between 3 different parties had to be leaked out, because it was a document I made for my lawyer, and it was a document that was not supposed to be shown anywhere else but to me and my lawyer, and to the lawyers on the other side, and we were promised it was not to be shown anywhere else.
Because that's how the process is supposed to work in a fucking legal battle, where you're not sharing confidential information with others unrelated to the fucking legal battle taking place. But I guess Niji Sanji, being the goobers they are, for some reason tried to weaponize that information by giving it to Selin's friends, and most likely, I'll say there's a high chance, forcing them to make that video a message from Niji Sanji, which is a terrible video that I don't think they wanted to make, because they have to have known it'd be a disaster.
Nah, after that bullshit, I'm leaving. Fuck that. Fuck that. That ricocheted, but still killed my driver. Nah, bullshit. Bullshit. It ricocheted and still sent falling shit into my tank. Bullshit. Fuck that. Nah. Call it rage quitting. I don't care what you say. Fuck.